Apple Vision Pro, one of my most favorite tech products of 2024 thus far. These are the top 10 apps I've been using almost daily. Almost daily. Let's get down to it. Now, before we kick things off, part of this video is sponsored by Moonplayer. They're an app that I actually use on Vision Pro as well. More about them in just a bit. But right now, let's strap on Vision Pro. By the way, I've got the Anna Pro forehead strap on this with the new cooling padding here, which feels a lot better on the forehead. Doesn't leave the lines, the creases in there. Very, very good. I think they're for sale. If not now, they will be very soon. But anyway, let's put this on and let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go into the first app here, and that is Luminar. Now, if you don't know what Luminar is, they actually make a desktop app for photo editing, Luminar AI, Luminar Neo, and they actually have a native Vision Pro app here for Vision Pro. So I'm going to use this line photo that I took recently to do a little bit of editing on this, because you can actually edit on Vision Pro. How cool is that? Okay, so first and foremost, you are now seeing what I'm seeing here. You've got the develop page here. We got the various different tools. So you can enhance a few things here, add a little bit of color, make it pop a bit more. You can make it brighter, make it darker. You got your highlights. So you're using your fingers as you're adjusting this to sort of play around with the highlights, the shadows a bit. It takes a little bit of fine tuning, but you can have some fun with it. You got your black levels. Raise those up and down. Then you got your development tab. Then you can actually scroll up here. You've got your enhance AI. So if you want to bring that up a bit more, you see how it kind of changes the image here. In real time, it's very accurate. By the way, this only works for JPEG images. It does not work for RAW images. So keep that in mind. Add a little bit of structure to this because you want to pull out the detail on the face of the line here. And relighting is very cool. Now, relighting is something that it is in, I believe it's in Luminar AI. It's not something I use all the time, but it's something that is there and you can play around with that as well. Then we also have landscape here. So if I want to take this and bring this up, I can make the greens brighter and prominent, which I don't want to do that. You can bring it darker a little bit here. Then you got your curves, which is interesting because you're thinking, how do I do curves on Vision Pro? And you can just got to kind of click where you want that point to be and you kind of bring it down a little bit there. And you can see how accurate this is. Not bad that you can actually do this on Vision Pro with your fingers. Go down there. Then if you want to share it, save the large photo, save the photos, large size, and there you go. So that is essentially Luminar for Vision Pro. It takes a while to save here on, by the way, but you get an idea of how much you can play with this. And this has been a lot of fun for me to use. You can do sky replacements as well. You got various different filters here. So a lot of what you're seeing on the desktop for Luminar is now brought in here for Luminar for Vision Pro. Now, the next app that I use quite a bit here, obviously, this is a fan favorite. If you have not used this for Vision Pro, is Disney Plus. Disney Plus, obviously, they have one of the best apps for just watching content along with Apple TV. I'm in the environment, as you can see here, but they actually have their own built-in environments in Disney Plus app. So you have Iceland, if you want to bring that down from National Geographic, that'll download. You got Tatooine, you've got Scarefloor, Avengers Tower, Disney Theater. Let's go to Tatooine. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm here at Tatooine. We have the speeders right there. We are right there. Now, obviously, you can turn the volume up and you're going to get the sounds of Tatooine behind you. Don't know if you can actually hear this on the video, but you can hear what Tatooine sounds like. So come out of this, and let's say I want to go to a Star Wars movie here. Let's just go to Return of the Jedi. Now, you're not going to see the movie due to copyright restrictions, but when you do see it, what happens is everything darkens, the various different moons. Unfortunately, because I'm recording the video, you're not going to see anything here, but that just gives you an idea of what you can do. Again, very, very cool. Just the whole interface, the way that it interacts. I mean, the Disney Plus Theater, you can move this around here. Look how beautiful this is as I look around. And then we've got Avengers Tower. Look at this. You can look around here, the various different Iron Man suits. We've got the gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet's there. We've got Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer. We've got Hulkbuster, Doctor Strange's cloak. I mean, look at all this, how cool this is. And you get the sounds of New York while you're around this as well. So Disney Plus has done an amazing job with this app. One of my favorite, like just in terms of, watching content, this is the app to definitely look out for if you haven't tried this already. Next, let's go into Spatial Message. Now, we use WhatsApp here in Singapore quite a bit. And I think they're using it all over the world now. And this is one of the better ones out there. I actually paid for this WhatsApp VR, but it doesn't seem to be as good as Spatial Message just in terms of the messages that you can get out of this, everything else. So I've got all my contacts here, but you can't do video calls on this, unlike Telegram, which you can, but you've got all your contacts there. If you do want to type a message, keyboard pops up, or you can actually just dictate messages. Again, you can type on the keyboard if you want to do that, but actually just dictation works a lot better. But anyway, go in here and you got your documents. If you want to go see that, you can actually go to your file system. So let's say you want to download, any of the downloads that you have here. Like say I downloaded something from WhatsApp or a Spatial Message, for example. It's here in my downloads, and I can open that up and take a look at that there. Next, let's talk about YouTube for a second. Since you're watching this on YouTube, which is the best YouTube app to use thus far? I'm going to say Juno. Now, a lot of the apps here on Vision Pro do cost some money, and this is something to take note of. Let's go to my channel here. We'll go to a recent video that I've done, my Canon R5 Mark II video. And as you can see, once you set it to play in 4K, it plays in 4K. Races. Yes, we're getting to the global shutter era, but for the most part, you could dim the background if you want to do that. So as you can see, 4K video, captions on, you can turn that off if you want. You can speed it up, you can reduce the playback. So this is a very good application for YouTube, and one of the best, I feel, in my personal opinion. So I would highly recommend it. Again, you're gonna have to pay for this app, but once you do, you're gonna be very, very happy with it. Next, let's talk about Moonplayer, who are a sponsor for a portion of this video now, Moonplayer and Moon Portal and Frame. Now, Moonplayer, think of it like a multimedia player. So let's say you're not streaming content from Disney Plus or Netflix, Paramount Plus, Max, for example, but you have something on your device that you want to watch. Now, one of the cool things about Moonplayer is actually the environments as well. I'm going to show you what it looks like now. So this is a YouTube video that I did recently, and I put this inside my photo albums, and also you can store it onto your file management system on Vision Pro. But as you look around here, I'm in a private sort of cinema or video room, so to speak. Then you got Moon Max, which is like a movie theater here. But look at the details I'm looking around here, from the couches, the cushions here. Of course, you can adjust if you want to be in the front, you can go in the back. It can be bright, it can be dark. You can turn off the ambient lighting on or turn it off. You've got all this information, and it looks absolutely fantastic as you move around this. The whole environment that Moonplayer's created is awesome. In terms of ghosting, when you're watching videos, they correct that. You can turn off color correction if you don't want to have anything color corrected, or you can have it on. It's on by default. You can adjust the saturation, bring that down a little bit, bring up the contrast, the sharpening, all that comes into play. Now, one of the things I will say about the Moonplayer, as much as I like it, I do wish it was much easier to remove this player. You have to just kind of look to the side and click off and then click on it, but it doesn't disappear on its own, which would have been nice to do that. But I'm sure that's always something they can improve in future firmware updates. But also in terms of the view angles, you've got panoramic, you got VR, VR 180, 360, fisheye, cube map, horizontal. So a lot of things, if you're into VR, you can play it in this player here, because it plays all different formats and files. It's absolutely phenomenal what you can do on this thing. And it's one of my favorite players overall. By the way, if you don't have something in your photo album, but you have something on your, let's say in your shared folder or files, you can do that here as well. Case in point, I mean, look how good the image looks on this. This looks absolutely phenomenal. And then on top of Moonplayer, you got imported videos. You can check those out. If you want to connect to a server, you can do that as well. All right, so now let's talk about the Moon Portal and Frame. Now, Moon Portal and Frame is sort of a byproduct of Moonplayer, and this is more for VR content here. Now, I'm using Vision OS 2, so that's why we're getting this warning up here. By the way, just a little bit of a tip. If you've not downloaded Vision 1.3 yet, don't do it. It seems to be a little bit buggy. I think 1.2 is more stable, or use one of the betas, which is better. Now, Skywalk is interesting. This is a very virtual reality element here. I'll give you an idea of what it's like. You know, you do need to move with this. I would say be into an open space to make sure that you're not around anything, because you cannot see around your environment, but it's a bit trippy. So I'll show you what that looks like. And there we're into the space where you actually walk out into the plank, and I'll show you how that looks. And then I think you can jump into the helicopter, which I have not tried because my place isn't long enough and I don't want to jump and hit a wall, but you do fall off this, and then it's a bit of a sensation to feel that. So if you're really into VR and you want to do a lot more with this, this is what you can do with Moon Portal. Next, let's talk about golf. I am a big golf fan here. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the PGA Tour golf app, which is cool, but I do find it to be, I mean, it's much more for, you know, existing games or they're being played out there. You can watch playback, you can go into the courses. It's very cool. But one of them that I think for a lot of golf players, if you want to go to a course, you don't know what it's like, you go to Immersion Golf. This is very cool. Now, I'm in Singapore, of course, and we've got all the courses logged on here. Sentosa is the most expensive one here, Serapong. So what's going to happen is it's actually going to show me the course here. And you can go by hole 1, hole 2, bring this around. You can talk about, you know, what it recommends. It's obviously it's a par 3. your 5-iron, you can move this around. Let's say you can't hit 153 meters, but 103 meters for your 9-iron. It'll tell you how you can, maximize what you should be hitting with. 6-iron, 141 meters, thereabouts. So you have a lot of room to play around with here. I like this a lot, especially if you're going to be out there golfing and you want to know you're going to go golfing with the friends and you've never been to a course before and you want to see what each of the holes are like so you can sort of strategize and get the right clubs, making sure that everything is laid out accordingly. Here you have it there. This is by Tag Heuer, of course. They've got their smartwatches as well, which I haven't tried yet, but this is absolutely awesome. Also, you can obviously download your courses as well, so you can keep them on Vision Pro. Next, let's go to, this is a fun one, and this was called AquaZen. And I discovered this from the developer here. Once I got into it, I like fishes and all these kind of things. I think this is a really cool, you've got this 360 aquarium, or you've got spatial aquarium where the fishes can go around you here. But I'm kind of liking where this developer is going with it. Obviously, this is a newer developer, more independent. But I like the fact that if you like fish, you want to see different fishes, and you want to sort of create your own aquarium, you can do that. And as you see, you look around you here, the various different fishes come up close to you. Now, the water doesn't move and neither do the outside elements, but it's just a very relaxing sort of space to just sort of hang out and just see fish as they move around. Obviously, when the fish do come from your face, you are going to see it does disrupt the environment a bit. But I thoroughly enjoy it. It's very nice, and you have various different environments as well. So you can try the different environments here to look around you, around, up and about. This is just a very nice, relaxing sort of thing. And of course, you can just go to the spatial aquarium, and that means just fish around you as you're in your own environment. Here I'm in my studio, as you can see in front of me here. And yeah, now the fish are around me here in my studio, which is absolutely really cool. So again, do check that out. That's called AquaZen. Okay, next we are going to look at something a little bit more productive. Microsoft Word. Yes, they actually have a Vision Pro app for this. And, this is something I was creating with in terms of notes for Vision Pro that I was doing for my scripting before that. If you want to highlight something, you can. Bring this down. So you have a lot of room you can play with. Again, it does take a little bit of work using your fingers so you have an idea of how it works. But for the most part, this is pretty cool. You have a lot of the features that you have with, let's say, Microsoft Word. It's all here. And then, of course, if you want to dictate something, you can dictate this here as well. And it kind of just adds more words into the document. So that way, it's a lot easier than typing on this small keyboard, which is workable, but dictation is a lot better on Vision Pro than I find it to be, even on the iPhone for that matter. So hopefully this sort of dictation does come over into the new iPhones coming up very soon. Obviously, September 9th, maybe the announcement. We have no idea yet, but nonetheless, there you have it. As you can see how fast it's dictating as I'm talking about this, and it looks pretty accurate for the most part. Let's go into Marvel's What If. This has been one of the big apps that a lot of people like. Now, this is going to be more of a storytelling. You got to kind of go into this environment. It takes a little bit of time. I don't want to go too much into this because it's like a long thing you get into. But if you have kids or family members, you just want to get into a very immersive Marvel environment, they've done a phenomenal job with this. Disney Plus, they made fantastic content for Apple Vision Pro, and hopefully other studios do this as well. So that gives you an idea of what if is all about. And now we're going to go into one of the final apps that I use quite a bit here, and that is Supercut. Now, Supercut you can actually use for Netflix because there's not a native Netflix app. Netflix said they're not going to make something for Vision Pro, which is an absolute shame here. I wish they would do that. But
to be the greatest.
Let's see, you want to watch the Kingsman here. You may not see this again for copyright reasons. We've got our environments here. We're going to go into cinema. How cool is that? You got middle row. You got back. Balcony. Now, unfortunately, you don't have chairs around you, so you're just sort of in this sort of very basic cinema. But it'd have been nice to have chairs, but maybe they'll improve that in a future firmware update. But nonetheless, that you can actually watch Netflix like this. How awesome is that? All right, guys. So that's sort of, as you can tell, the hair is going there real quick here. You'll feel this on the front of your forehead a little bit in terms of the hairline, but it's very comfortable to use this band, by the way. But that sort of wraps up the 10 apps that I use thus far for Vision Pro. And I've been a big fan of this since it came out here in Singapore, especially. I've been using it a lot for my daily work and meetings, Microsoft Teams and Zoom. But I will say just, a lot of it is content, consumption. But at the same time, the fact that I can edit images if I want to do that in Luminar, if I want to write it out in a document and send it off, or send out WhatsApp messages, I can do that as well. And more apps are coming along the way, but I've been a big fan. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite apps? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, more content on the way. Thanks again for the support, and I will chat to you guys very, very soon. Take care.